Hey Laos, welcome to my channel. Whether you're returning or new viewer, I'm glad you are here. In today's video, I'll be demonstrating how to do a 4x4 closure placement and how to draw the perfect guidelines. So first off, you take your closure. Mostly the closures have a middle line drawn in it, but then after bleaching, sometimes you don't see the line anymore. So in order to get the middle part, you just fold it into two equal parts, locate the middle part, then put your pin at that point. Then you find the middle part of your dome cap, the line drawn over your middle part. Then you clip it in. Then you push the closure just a little forward, just slightly forward. Then you pin both sides, the right side and the left side. So you just pull it a little forward so that when you cut off the excess dome cap underneath it, when you're done with the wig, you won't see something uh, beneath it, just like some regular wigs that you see, like a black dome cap beneath it. Then you fold, just flip it and lay it behind, then you clip the other sides too, just as you see me do here. So you have to make sure that all the sides are very flat, really flat. The 4x4 closure placement is really simple. All you need is to find the middle part, then pin the front first, then you just flip it backwards and pin the back sides too. Then after or that, you just go ahead and sew on your lace closure before you draw the guidelines. You can decide to draw the guidelines, but then for easy access and for you to make sure that the closure placement will not shift or will not move, for you to do another work, you just go ahead and sew it down. So when it comes to the sewing, I like to use the back stitch method. I start a little behind, then I sew, then come forward again, then go backwards again, just like you're using the sewing machine to do a back stitch. Yes. So I have a very detailed video on how to sew down the lace closure. I'll put it in the description box as well. You can check that video out. It is very detailed on how to sew down a flat closure to make it really flat. As you can see here, it is really flat. So after that, I just like to create 3 or 4 knots before I cut off the excess thread. And I adjusted this dome cap too, so do well to check that video up. I'll upload that video very soon. Do well to check how to do the cap adjustment also. It is quite easy. Then you go ahead and take your measuring tape. You want to work with the measuring tape so that it will be very easy. You make sure that all the lines are 1 inch apart. So you put the measuring tape in on like in such a way that you can see that this inch is here, this inch is here. So I like to pin it on the 10th number just below so that I can get 1 inch that won't be sewn onto the elastic part of the dome cap, just as you see me do here. So you just go ahead and draw the guidelines, but when you get to the top, you just do half an inch. The down part is 1 inch apart, but when you are getting the closure side, you do half an inch, so that as you can see, the last 3 lines are half an inch apart than the other lines that are 1 inch apart. So you just do that, you draw it on one line, then you go ahead and do it on the other side of the measuring tape too. It is very simple. As you can see, the last guideline is not on the elastic part of the dome cap. You don't want to sew on that part, so you just make sure that the first or the last line, the line that is beneath it, the one you see me draw, yes, make sure that you do not draw that line on the elastic part of the dome cap. Just have to be above it. Yes, so when you are putting your tape measure there, make sure that it is above it. Then you go ahead and trace the guidelines to the side of the dome cap. This is also quite simple, but if you are a beginner, you want to make sure that you don't just start from below then work your way up, or start up and work your way down. Although you can do it, but I don't advise that for beginners. So first off, you draw the last 3 lines, the lines below, you draw 3 lines, then you move up to draw the guidelines above too, so that as you are drawing the guidelines, you make sure that the measurement on the right side is the same as the measurement on the left side. Because sometimes when you are coming from below, working your way upwards, you might just find the measurement not accurate and a whole lot. So as a beginner, I advise that you work your way from below, then you go and continue upwards, then you just meet in the middle. It is that easy. When you get a hang over it, you can decide to draw from up to the bottom or from the bottom upwards. So you just draw the lines here as you can see me do. These are called guidelines for a reason. You don't have to necessarily get straight lines, but then do your best to make sure that there are equal measurement on both sides. On the right side, the same number of lines, and on the left side too, the same number of lines, just as you can see. Whatever I do onto the right, I do the same thing on the left side. So I just went ahead and drew all these lines, and this is the last line on the right side. Then you move on to the left side. See, we have some up and we have some down. So when you are doing the middle ones, it is quite easy and you can have control over the spacing on the side, because the space in the middle is quite wider than the space on the sides. Yes, depending on the head measurement of the person you are sewing the wig for. But this is basically how you draw the guidelines on a 4x4 closure. So this is it. You go ahead and do your double wefting and start sewing your wig. So I will also post a video on how to double weft. If you be interested, let me also know down in the comment section and I'll teach you how to do the double wefting as well. You go ahead and connect all the lines from where you take the tape measure, and there you have your 4x4 guidelines. These guidelines are a lot and it is suitable when you are using 3 bundles or your bundles are a lot. But if you are working with just 2 bundles or a few bundles, you can decide to do the spacing 1.5 inch apart instead of doing the 1 inch as I showed you in this tutorial. So you can do 1.5 inch apart depending on the number of bundles you are using. Thank you, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this. Bye. I love you all.